Today's reading is from John 8:31 to 41. And I find it so interesting that these interactions between Jesus and the people, how they swing from Jesus performing miracles and they all want to follow him, and then he speaks deeply challenging words, so they abandon him. And the Pharisees reject him publicly, they denounce him, whilst at the same time many put their trust and their faith in him. We saw that in the previous reading in John's Gospel. And today it says that many believed in him. That was the starting point of the reading. Remember, that's a key phrase for John, to believe in him. And yet then here today Jesus pokes at them with his words. He rattles them. And I can only come up with one good reason for that, and it's that Jesus isn't just looking for followers. He isn't looking for people with a loose affiliation to him, people who are sort of 50% in or even 99% in. He's looking for true disciples, those who will give him everything, who will receive all of what he says. It's going to be Jesus and only Jesus. We have to be all in. Now, in today's reading, we get that wonderful saying of Jesus, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. Jesus then says, if the Son sets you free, you are free indeed. Very familiar words. And there's lots of layers of meaning to that. But what I want to unpack really is what I think the original meaning, the face value meaning of what Jesus was saying. And to do that, you have to look at the reaction of those first hearers, how they reacted when he said that. They were like, you're going to set us free? We are free. We're descendants of Abraham. We're the nation of Israel. We have never been slaves. We are free. It was their sort of brave heart, patriotic defiance moment. Jesus, who do you think you are, saying you will set us free? We are free. But of course, the truth was they were not free. They were under Roman occupation. Their way of life was seriously restricted. The truth was that even as sons of Abraham, they had been slaves on many occasions to Egypt, slaves to Babylon, slaves to Syria, and now slaves to Rome. Jesus had clearly touched on a nerve here with his words. And what Jesus says, verse 34, is that when we sin, we become slaves to sin. The actual tense of the Greek there is not about like a one-off slip-up, an occasional sin. It's about continuous habitual sin, a lifestyle sin. And of course we know that's true, don't we? We know that if we keep going back to sin, it embeds, it becomes habit, it begins to control us. We lose our freedom. We become slaves to sin. And for this reason, Jesus, the Son, came to set slaves free from sin. And the picture that Jesus is drawing on here is a type of servant called a bondservant. Because of someone's debts they couldn't pay, they would have legally been given over as slaves to a household. No freedoms, no wage, unable to free themselves or help themselves. We know that from history. That's how it worked in this place at the time. But we also know that the son of the house could set the slave free. He could give that slave the gift of freedom. He could cancel the debt. But to do that, he would have to make the slave part of the family. He would give the slave the same status as himself, a son. Now, we were slaves to sin. We had a debt that we couldn't pay. We were unable to free ourselves. It took the son of the house. Hard work won't free you from your sin. Self-effort, trying to be good and trying not to be naughty, will not free you from your sin. Discipline, routines, religious practices will not set you free from your sin. Shouting in intercession won't do it. But if the Son sets you free, you are free indeed. And that is the reality right now for us as Christians. We have been set free because we are sons and daughters in the Father's household. Our status is free. So let's live like that. Let's shake off the sin that so easily entangles this day, and let us step into the wonderful freedom that Jesus won for us, purchased for us at the cross.